there's other things, Richie, going on at Manchester United. Luke Shaw with a new 5-year contract. Like, again, I suppose if you think of all the players that Mourinho has sort of come out against in the media, he was top of the list. Now, he came back really trim after the summer. He took up the challenge and all that, no matter how hard it was. But a 5-year contract, like, who signed off on that?
What puzzles me is, you're right to say he's top of the list of players you think of that Mourinho has come out and publicly criticised, but that list is long, and I don't know why he does this. I don't know why he feels the need to come out and make snide remarks or very critical remarks of the players that he's going to rely on week in, week out. I think the team he's chosen tonight, I don't think he'd much room for manoeuvre. I think, like Liam said, he's taken Herrera out and Matt has gone in, which is an attacking change, but with the absence of Lingard and Fellaini and Sanchez, I don't think he had any other really options than to play the players he's got. The ones he has, like the lads have said, the confidence has been an issue for some of them because they haven't had a consistent run of game time. They haven't reached anywhere near their potential, and they have a manager who publicly, and I assume privately, is difficult to deal with because of what he says about them.
Well, Didi, I know a few months ago talking to Damien Duff, who played for Mourinho, and he did similar to him, not to Luke Shaw proportions, but this was Damien's take on it was, you know, this is to see if you've got the character and you can stand up and withstand this kind of thing, that it's a test of character. Yeah,
but this is probably, how long are we going back? 12 years? 15 years?
Yeah. 15 years, yeah.
15 years. Now, this is a different time. This is a different generation of players, and what worked 15 years ago is not certain to work 15 years after, and I think that's most of the issue. I think in management, I think in the last few years, the managers who are successful have adapted to the new generation of players. I'm not sure whether this manager has. And as I said before, if you have good players, you can't help but win games. But clearly they don't win enough. And if you have players like Martial and Rashford and Mata, or especially Martial and Rashford, you've got to use them. And the way he did play it at Chelsea was a counter-attacking style. If you've got these players, you need to get them on the ball. And I think that's part of the problem. Sometimes the style of play, the way they played, they just didn't have enough time on the ball. And when they did get the ball, I think they got the ball in positions where they couldn't be dangerous.
When you think of his handling of players, forget the off-the-field stuff for the comments. If you look at many players and their performances, the list of players that you could say are thriving under Mourinho's coaching, or are improving, or are noticeably better players, or more rounded players, or playing at a higher level, I can't think of many. I can't think of what he does. And like I said a few weeks ago, if you're defending Mourinho and you're really pushing for him to remain as the manager of the club, what exactly are you pushing for? Is it his coaching, or his handling his players? Is it his style of football, his dealings in the transfer market, his handling in the media, the directors? In all of those areas, you sit there and go, why is he behaving in this way?
That's his way. That's his style. That's what he's always done.
I know, but there was a different era or different time, and exactly what happens now is exactly the opposite to what used to happen. Because when it was at Chelsea, I think all of these players were at the peak of their powers. There weren't many players who left Chelsea and performed better than they did for him or under him at Chelsea.
Before the season started, we all read it, there was leaks from someone within the hierarchy of the club to the media explaining in detail who Mourinho wanted to sign and why they didn't think he should be signed. So it's a really public undermining of his input as manager or his power within the club. So that situation, I can't imagine, has changed. You're asking earlier what's changed in the last few weeks. I don't believe that's changed in any way. And you're trying to assess from a distance the morale of the dressing room or what confidence or support the players have in Mourinho. I don't think his management style has changed in 2 weeks. I think he's still confrontational and goes about the job in unnecessary ways, in ways that aren't getting the best out of this group of players, which is the fundamental role of a manager.
It's, let's use that word again, complex, Liam. His relationship with that club, how he's managing the team.
He's a happier guy in recent weeks because they were 2 down against Newcastle at home and it looked all over. You know, as we said, Newcastle, very, very poor team. They lost at home to Brighton at the weekend. So it was nothing wonderful what Manchester United did, but Mourinho could finally give his support to the players, and he's given his support to the players after the Chelsea game, and he's picked the same team, a very attacking team, but they're up against one of the best sides in Europe, and a side that can also hit them on the break with Cristiano Ronaldo up front. So I think we're in for an absolutely fascinating game.